Hi, beautiful people. How are ya? I hope you're having a great day. My husband and I had our date night, and we took one of our grandsons and his girlfriend to dinner with us. So much fun. I love doing that. And then my stepmom passed away. She has been my stepmom for over 55 years, a long time. My dad passed away in 2009, so she's been alone for a while, but not really alone because her two daughters, my half sisters, and two living stepbrothers made sure that she lacked for nothing. But she's with Jesus now. Ephesians 4, beginning with verse 3 in the NIV says, "Make every effort to keep the unity of the Spirit through the bond of peace. There's one body and one Spirit, just as you were called to one hope when you were called, one Lord, one faith, one baptism, one God and Father of all, who is over all and through all and in all." Then starting in verse 32, it says, "Be kind and compassionate to one another, forgiving each other, just as in Christ God forgave you." Amen. I didn't have a close relationship with my dad, stepmom, or that side of the family because I didn't see them very often, but I still love them. And even though there were many hurts over the years, I came to a place where I knew it was time to forgive and let go. My son helped me with that. As some of you may know, he's a pastor, and he said, "Mom, it's time." And he prayed with me. So it doesn't matter if it's years or days. We need to let go of stuff, right? Tesla loves to play ball. He could probably do this for hours. He tickles me pink. We are continuing our study on the 8 types of fibromyalgia pain. This is part 7. Today, we're discussing digestive pain in fibromyalgia. Here we go. Researchers are fully aware that gastrointestinal disorders are common in fibro patients. Gastrointestinal issues can range from mild discomfort to severe symptoms that impact daily life. Abdominal pain and discomfort can be an issue. In a 2020 review of previous research, researchers reported that IBS mixed and constipation types predominate in people with fibromyalgia, but that doesn't mean that diarrhea doesn't also occur. For example, in a 1991 study, researchers reported that 73% of patients with fibromyalgia had altered bowel patterns. 60% of patients with IBS have fibromyalgia. Wow, that's huge. In 2009, researchers stated that fibro patients had higher symptom severities for belching, reflux, bloating, sour taste, constipation, and vomiting than patients with rheumatoid arthritis or the control group. These dyspepsia-related symptoms negatively affected their quality of life. Bloated stomach, food intolerances and sensitivities, nausea, indigestion, upset stomach. I mean, the list goes on. So, because of all of these symptoms, please talk to your doctor, even though some of these symptoms may feel a bit embarrassing or difficult to talk about or deal with. It's not like doctors haven't heard this stuff before. People with fibromyalgia get it. We get it. We're here for you. The reality is that dyspepsia issues coexist with fibro. Hopefully, you're not suffering with illnesses like celiac disease, which is an autoimmune condition, or inflammatory bowel disease, which is a chronic inflammation of the GI tract, like ulcerative colitis or Crohn's disease, or colitis, which is inflammation of the colon. For the purposes of this video today, we'll discuss IBS, acid reflux, and GERD. Irritable bowel syndrome, IBS, is a chronic condition that affects the large intestine, the colon. In the US, about 12% of the population have IBS. But compare that to about 70% of fibromyalgia patients have symptoms of IBS. Altered gut microbiota is believed to play a role in IBS. Abnormal neurotransmitter levels and inflammation are believed to also occur. I have found that taking a digestive enzyme after every time I eat and a pre-probiotic supplement has helped to reduce my symptoms. I've been taking the enzyme for about a year now, and I love it. I've been taking a pre-probiotic for a couple of months, and I feel a difference. Also, I feel like I need to get another food sensitivity test completed. I did that during the pandemic, I think in 2020. So it's been a while. Things can change over time. The common symptoms of IBS are abdominal pain, digestive discomfort, and alternating constipation and diarrhea, known as mixed. Or you could have one or the other, like IBS-C and IBS-D. Acid reflux is a common term for gastroesophageal reflux, which we tend to call heartburn or reflux or indigestion or acid regurgitation. When the stomach contents come back up into your esophagus, our food pipe, most of us just call it acid reflux. Heartburn can be triggered by certain foods, such as spicy, fatty, or acidic foods. Coffee and soft drinks and eating a very large meal can also cause heartburn. Avoiding wearing too tight of clothing and drinking too much alcohol can help to avoid heartburn. Smoking, eating too close to bedtime, bending over a lot, and being overweight can also cause symptoms. It can help to raise the head of your bed by 4 to 8 inches and taking prescription medicine for heartburn. Others take over-the-counter medications. A more severe and chronic condition is called gastroesophageal reflux disease, GERD. that affects about 20% of people in the US. In people with fibromyalgia, 40 to 70% have GERD. I've done a few videos on GERD, but I think it's interesting that in patients with GERD, the incidence of fibro is 1.5 times higher than those without GERD, and 1.5 times greater in the fibromyalgia cohort than the non-fibro group. So there's a slightly greater risk of developing GERD if you have fibromyalgia than patients with GERD developing fibro. It may be possible that the high use of NSAIDs raised the risk of fibro. That could have been the case for me. I don't know. I know I took NSAIDs every day for a couple of years to manage my pain prior to GERD. Did this happen to you too? But it's also known that IBS has an association with GERD, and since it's common to have IBS, that link makes sense. I also have IBS, and I've had that for many years. And there's a common pathology between IBS and fibromyalgia that researchers call central sensitivity. So, can a malfunctioning lower esophageal sphincter be the common cause or primary cause of GERD? It appears so. But basically, the lower esophageal sphincter helps to prevent any stomach contents or acid from rising back up into the esophagus. When this sphincter becomes weakened, food and acid reflux into the esophagus. This can especially occur while we sleep. So, as I said, raise the head of the bed frame up can be very important. Irritation and inflammation of the esophageal lining can lead to various symptoms such as heartburn, acid regurgitation, that's horrible, chest pain, difficulty swallowing, chronic cough, and hoarseness or voice changes. Yep, I experienced that. But other contributions to the development of GERD are a hiatal hernia, obesity, pregnancy, smoking, and certain foods like those that trigger acid reflux, as in spicy or fatty foods, citrus foods, caffeine, and carbonated drinks. It's believed that the dysregulation of the autonomic nervous system contributes to the development of GERD, or perhaps it is certain medicines like NSAIDs that increase the risk. It's just something to think about. However, some of us have something called silent GERD. You may not always have acid reflux symptoms of burning and chest pain. I didn't, and I had no idea I had GERD. My symptoms were a chronic sore throat, severe postnasal drip, that was the worst, and a feeling of a lump on my throat. I rarely got heartburn and still don't. But when I was diagnosed with silent GERD, I was shocked because, like, what? I don't even eat spicy foods. So it was probably not a good thing that I love my coffee and I drank a lot of soft drinks back then. I don't anymore at all, or at least rarely. So your doctor might call it silent reflux disease or laryngopharyngeal reflux. My wonderful allergist at the time diagnosed me. A few years later, I had a scope down my throat and I had the signs of GERD in my esophagus. So he knew what he was talking about. In some people with silent GERD, the stomach acid doesn't travel to the larynx and cause discomfort. I think mine does, all the way up into my nasal passages. And I would get, and still do, get phlegm in the back of my throat. So after telling my physician about this, we switched some medicines around because I was constantly having to clear my throat. Sleep apnea can also be a cause, and I'm sure I had undiagnosed sleep apnea when I was diagnosed with silent GERD. Do any of you also have sleep apnea and then also have GERD? Dietary changes and medication are the same as those with regular GERD. As a fibro warrior, I know how important sleep is for me. Poor sleep hygiene can affect me all day long. So, going to sleep at the same time each day and waking up at the same time is important. I'm not always good at it, but I strive to be. Also, we keep our bedroom cool, quiet, and dark. I do my best to reduce my stress through deep breathing exercises. I enjoy housework as my normal exercise routine. And when I feel capable, when my feet don't hurt, I like to do mild aerobic exercise, those for older adults. It's just fun. And communicating with all of you provides me with a support group. And I find that it helps me to manage my stress as well. And in the end, I feel like I'm a part of something bigger than me, while I get to converse with all of you beautiful people. Thank you. My word of caution: if left untreated, GERD can have a detrimental effect on our overall health, causing many severe complications. If you do not keep your GERD under control, you have the risk of developing Barrett's esophagus, which can then lead to throat cancer. So please take your medication, follow your doctor's advice, and do all you can to help keep your symptoms at bay. I hope you learned something. I send you gentle hugs and support. Love you. You get that ball. You baby that ball. This is your baby. Yes, you better. Yes, you better. Good boy. Good boy. Yeah. 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 Good boy.